First up, we have Kids Restart, Daniela Kappas. Come up.
Good afternoon. We are so thankful to be here today. My name is Daniela Kappas, and I am the Executive Director of Kids Restart. And with me is Brittany Bing, and she is a counselor at Rape Crisis and Sexual Assault Services. The mission of Kids Restart is that every child will be secure from abuse and neglect and will become a healthy, self-sustaining citizen within a nurturing, caring home environment. The mission of Rape Crisis and Sexual Assault Services is to provide quality, efficient, and culturally competent crisis intervention, advocacy, therapy, and prevention education to children, women, and men. We are collaborating to provide support for mothers and their children who are in crisis through comprehensive and intensive services and to create healthy families. The total grant request from Women in Philanthropy is $45,000. With this grant money, we will serve a minimum of 40 women and 80 children. Funding will be used to provide individual counseling, therapeutic support groups, family workshops, parenting classes, a 24/7 crisis line, advocacy, and transportation. Referrals are received from the Department of Family and Children's Services for mothers who are either at risk of losing their children or children that are already in foster care. Families are involved with the department due to issues with substance abuse and trauma that they have experienced through sexual abuse and interpersonal violence. Parenting classes will be provided using the Nurturing Parenting curriculum or the Active Parenting curriculum. Both of these are evidence-based and focus on learning each aspect of parenting, including child development, and teaching parents how to help their children to grow roots, as well to prepare them to develop their wings so they can survive and thrive in the society in which they will live and become healthy and productive members of society. Classes will be specifically tailored to each family because every family has a unique set of circumstances and issues that need to be addressed. Family workshops will utilize the SELF curriculum, which is a trauma-informed psychoeducational group curriculum. SELF stands for safety, emotion, loss, and future. These are considered to be the 4 weight-bearing walls to support the whole house. The goal is to teach our moms how to be safe in their bodies and their minds, as well as helping them create a nurturing home environment and have a healthy future for them and their children.
Women who have experienced sexual or interpersonal violence often struggle with overcoming the after effects related to this trauma, such as blame, shame, guilt, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. These effects often impact a survivor's ability to function in a healthy way, including their ability to engage in healthy parenting skills. Trauma renders people helpless and frequently erodes their self-esteem. Establishing a support system is vital for a survivor's trauma recovery. For women who don't have a healthy support system or resources, the pain related to their trauma often becomes unbearable, and they may self-medicate with alcohol or drugs to numb the pain. The comprehensive treatment that will be facilitated to the women of this collaborative effort will provide individual and group psychotherapy, utilizing an evidence-based treatment known as cognitive processing therapy. Therapeutic services will teach the mothers skills necessary to raise their children in a safe and healthy environment. Survivors will learn how to recognize and challenge negative thinking patterns and how to cope with distressing emotions related to their trauma. These outcomes play a pivotal role in breaking the societal cycle of violence and empowering survivors to sustain a healthy way of living and parenting. Funding received from the Women in Philanthropy grant would support the collaborative project between Kids Restart and Sexual Assault Services and aid in creating a safe and nurturing environment for a minimum of 40 women and 80 children. Thank you.
Thank you, Kids Restart. Next up is Jody Huff from GAP. Okay, just let them. We can cut and paste this, so it's good. Okay.
Should I start?
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jody Huff, and I'm with GAP Ministries. GAP Ministries is a local nonprofit that's run by several churches. Our mission is to fill the gap in Augusta, not only in the services that are provided in the community, but also in services that people need. We do a variety of things, but what I'd like to talk to you today about is our diaper program. Several years ago, one of our board members came to us with the idea to start a program where women could get diapers. Diapers is a loophole. Most funding won't cover that. Most of the assistance that people get will not cover diapers. So we researched it. We found that for people who are living on the margins and poor, diapers can eat up to as much as 14% of their disposable income. For these people, they don't have access to buying in bulk or other ways to get diapers cheaper. So we did the research and we found that we could join a diaper program where we can get diapers for about 14 to 17 cents a diaper. On the open market, you can pay between 35 and 50 cents a diaper. So we got started. We have managed to expand our program to about 200 children. We're asking for $15,000 to expand it even more. This is the only program that we have where people pay for the diapers. Our program allows a woman to buy a week's worth of diapers for $1. This is also the program that we are the most careful about verifying things. Women have to prove that the child is theirs. They have to prove that the child is of diaper age. We have a wonderful volunteer who used to be a Richmond County school teacher who manages our program. She gets to know the mothers and the children and even does a little bit of parenting with them. So I would like to thank Women in Philanthropy for having us today and for choosing us to make this video. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Jody. Okay, next up is Action Ministries, Danielle Meyer.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Danielle Meyer. I'm the Director of Housing Services with Action Ministries. And Action Ministries mobilizes communities to address the challenges of poverty by focusing on hunger relief, housing, and education. Here in the CSRA, we have two arms that provide much-needed services to women and children in our community. The first is our hunger program called Smart Lunch, Smart Kid. During the summer, we partner with community volunteers to provide nourishing meals and enrichment activities for children in need. Our Smart Lunch, Smart Kid coordinator works with property managers and summer camp programs to identify children and then coordinates our volunteer force to deliver meals and enrichment activities directly where the children are. Enrichment activities vary from site to site, but have included reading enrichment programs with story time, scavenger hunts, and dance classes. Our program begins when school lets out and wraps up when school begins. In summer 2017, we provided nearly 200 children with over 4,000 meals. Our second program is our rapid rehousing program known as Action Empowers. We are able to take literally homeless families who live on the streets, shelters, or places not meant for human habitation and help them obtain a lease in their name in an apartment or a small family home. We are able to provide financial subsidies such as deposits, utilities, and rental assistance, and we negotiate with landlords to help overcome barriers to housing. Case management is provided during their enrollment in our program to address issues that led to their homelessness and develop goals and plans to maintain housing stability after services end. Our goal is that 85% of our families will remain stably housed for a year after exiting the program. And based on recent data collection of our exited families, we are meeting those numbers at 85%. Our programs provide the opportunity and tools to help families in the CSRA to be safer, healthier, and have a better able chance to succeed. Thank you to the Women in Philanthropy for providing us the opportunity to tell our story and for making a huge difference in the lives of families across the CSRA. And you support a lot of amazing nonprofits, and a lot are here in the room. And I wanted to do a special shout out to a couple of them because there are great community partners as well. We have Gap Ministries, Mosaic, and the Lydia Project. So thank you very much.
Next up, we have the AU College of Nursing, Mike Patton.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Patton, coordinator of the Healthy Grandparents Program at Augusta University's College of Nursing, and we have been providing a variety of social, legal, emotional support for grandparents and or great-grandparents who are raising their grandchildren in parent-absent homes. The main goal of the program is to help support these intergenerational families so that these children do not have to enter or re-enter the formal foster care system. In Richmond and Columbia counties alone, there are nearly 2,000 grandparents who are responsible for their grandchildren's care, and 27% of those grandparents have been raising their grandchildren for more than 5 years. Of the families that we serve in the program, 59% are headed by single grandmothers, who typically have fewer social supports, fewer financial resources, and are much more likely to be socially isolated than families we work with where the grandmother and the grandfather are living in the home. If awarded funded by Women in Philanthropy, we would focus expanding our services to these single grandmothers in 5 specific areas, totaling $15,000 and focusing on supporting 60 children and 40 grandchildren. First, $1,000 would be used to purchase brand new book bags and school supplies for the upcoming school year that would be distributed at the beginning of every school year to make sure these children have the resources and the tools they need to complete their daily school assignments. Another $3,000 would be used to support college preparation and tutoring for our grandchildren in their junior and senior high school years to pay for any college prep expenses, including college application fees, study books for the ACT and SCT, fees for taking those exams, educational support to help students with filling out their college applications, preparing essays, applying for scholarships, and out-of-town trips for the grandparents, for the grandmothers and the grandchildren to make visits to college campuses. Another $3,000 would be used to help grandmothers raising grandchildren who are not yet school age for these single grandmothers who are still working. Many of them cannot afford to pay for child care and to continue working. So we've had a lot of grandparents who either had to take early retirement or quit their jobs in order to stay home and take care of their grandchildren. Another $4,000 will be used to enroll children into a variety of different child enrichment activities during the school year so they can enjoy social and leisure experiences such as art, music, and dance classes or a variety of sports programs. And finally, $4,000 would be used to enroll grandchildren into a variety of summer camp programs in the area, whether it be the Family Y, the Boys and Girls Club, Recreation Department. And that's for 2 reasons: to give these grandparents during the summer months some much-needed respite time, especially for those who are raising multiple grandchildren, but also to give these children some experiences to participate in age-appropriate structured activities during the summer months. The challenge for our program is to maintain the level of services while we are continuing to enroll new families each month. Our funding has basically stayed the same for the past 5 years, while at the same time we've enrolled 125 new families and 249 grandchildren. Single grandmothers that we work with exhibit very high levels of stress and feelings of being overwhelmed with the task of raising their grandchildren, typically living on fixed income and few available resources, most of whom, again, are raising more than one grandchild. An increase in funding would allow us to expand resources and services for these single grandmothers and lessen their financial stress, many of whom are forced on making decisions on a monthly basis on whether they get to purchase food, clothing, or even their blood pressure medicine or the medicine for their diabetes. And as many of these children are dealing with the feelings of grief, anger, and depression, reducing their social isolation by giving them opportunities to participate in extracurricular activities outside of the school setting will help to increase their socialization skills, their life skills, their self-esteem, and improve their academic performance. Again, we want to thank the Women in Philanthropy for their efforts and their consideration for the Healthy Grandparents Program.
Okay. Next up, we have Leonard Maxey from Friendship Community Center.
Good afternoon. My name is Leonard Maxey. I am the director of Friendship Community Center. Friendship Community Center is a mental health recovery center that services individuals suffering from schizophrenia symptoms, bipolar symptoms, and who suffer from long-term depression. Thank you, Women of Philanthropy, for your consideration and helping Friendship Center with this project, Women Gaining Freedom to Explore. The Women Gaining Freedom to Explore project is designed to assist the Friendship Community Center in its mission of diminishing the stigma associated with a diagnosis of mental illness. The goal of this particular project is to help our ladies dissolve the guilt associated with having such a diagnosis. It's designed to help raise their self-esteem, to motivate these women to explore community resources. Too often, those who suffer from the symptoms associated with schizophrenia, bipolar, and long-term depression shroud themselves in their diagnosis. And they have a fear about going outside of into non-clinical settings. These are middle-aged women who view themselves as being unworthy of the normal social premiums that we take for granted. They have settled for low-grade social activities, namely those found in clinical settings like waiting rooms. They are afraid to venture out and go out into the community. This project, along with guidance given through our behavioral group coaching, will be used to encourage and inspire them to engage in community activities. This project will provide such amenities as bus tickets, concert and museum visits, restaurant and event visits, defray transportation costs, and allow these women to learn to acclimate, to value themselves and know that they are worthy and they are more than their diagnosis. Again, thank you, Women in Philanthropy, for your consideration in helping the Friendship Community Center diminish the stigma associated with these ladies' mental health journey. Thank you.
Boy, we are really rolling right along here. Let's take just a brief second. Let me just be sure there are not some more members outside who would like to come in and listen. This is record. I was tough this year. It worked. If we're ready, let's just, I know I said 4:30, but let's keep on going if y'all are ready to. You did? Okay. 15 minutes. She's strict. Okay, next up, we have Miracle Making Ministries, Robert Williams.
I'm Robert Williams, founder and CEO of Miracle Making Ministries, and thank you to the Women of Philanthropy for the opportunity to present, as well as having made it this far in the vetting process. We're very grateful for that. We have proposed underwriting, your support for underwriting our wellness, women's wellness on Wednesdays. Druid Park Community Health Center is a community clinic. It is a primary health care facility, and we focus primarily on female wellness on Wednesdays. Although 80% of our almost 8,000 encounters last year were females. So most of our work involves females. However, on Wednesdays we have gynecologists who focus directly on women's wellness. One of the things that we would do with funding from Women of Philanthropy, would be to purchase a ultrasound machine. Doctors indicate that screenings and their initial diagnosis would be a lot surer and a lot easier if they could image some things. So in addition to the ultrasound type screenings, we do pap smears and all of the other diagnostic type exams for women. Many of those women, we pay for the exams. We pay for all of the supplies that our clinic, our women use in the clinic. None of our services, whether it's male or female, Monday or Saturday, none of our services are at a cost to the patient. We underwrite everything we do through organizations like Women of Philanthropy. So if you're led to support our organization in this, we're going to see more women. We're going to be able to provide them more specific diagnosis quicker and get them to the right specialist quicker. We have seen over the last 5 years of our Women's Wellness on Wednesdays program, we've had 6 cancer diagnoses. We have women come in every week that are dealing with some discharge, or they found a lump and they come in panicking. They have these patients are the 45%, the lowest 45% of those that are uninsured in Richmond County. The last census gave us an estimate of nearly 20,000 people in Richmond County alone that cannot afford to pay the co-pays at the federal clinics. And so federal clinics, both of the federal clinics, refer patients to us. University Hospital has been a partner since we opened in 2004. Augusta University rotates nurses and NPs through our clinic, as well as some of the emergency medicine residents. So we're very grateful for your entertaining our proposal, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next up we have Augusta Tech, Beverly Peltier.
Peltier. It's okay.
I tried.
I told you, just as long as you call my name, it doesn't matter what you call me. So, good afternoon. My name is Beverly Barshofsky-Peltier, and I'm the Executive Director of the Augusta Technical College Foundation. We're a 2-year technical college serving the workforce development needs of a 5-county service area to include Richmond, Columbia, Burke, Lincoln, and McDuffie counties. The foundation serves as a separate 501c3 nonprofit from the college, but we work solely for the basis and the benefit of Augusta Technical College and its students in advancing the mission of technical education and workforce development. I'm here today to ask for your support of a $3,600 grant to purchase an Android-based tablet system called iStart Smart from Hatch Early Learning Systems. The purchase will benefit 2 audiences at our college. First, the adult students in our early child care and education classes, and second, the children from the Head Start program for 3-year-olds that is co-located within our early child care and education program as a working lab for our students. The iStart Smart tablets are utilized by the Head Start children to complement their learning experience. Each child in the Head Start program rotates through the lab, spending at least 15 minutes per day playing games on technology tools like iStart Smart, designed to increase their abilities. Since not all children arrive in the classroom at the same skill level, this tablet system works to identify their skill set and brings them quickly up to speed with the other children. Our college students use the gameplay data from the tablets to determine how best to address the needs of the 3-year-old learners' proficiencies or deficiencies, and they adjust their learning plans for each child from there. The tablets are designed, obviously, to be fun and interactive with games that make their little minds work hard to increase their abilities to count, to identify sight words, to identify colors. The tablets help our students that are there to get a degree in early child care and education become more proficient in actual classroom technology and techniques that they'll see in the workforce. They'll learn how to read data and how to implement learning strategies to get the Head Start children to their next educational milestone. So it is my hope today that you will consider making an investment in the iStart Smart Tablet program. And thank you very much for having us today. And this year I remembered to do a script. Thanks.
Okay, next up we have Carolyn Moore from the Mosaic Center.
What a privilege to be with you. I'm Carolyn Moore, and I'm working together with a group of people to develop a new initiative in Columbia County called the Mosaic Center. Our mission is to build lives and to break the cycles that keep people stuck. So working together with groups like Columbia County Community Connections, we're building a project called Women of Worth, targeting women who are unemployed and underemployed, who are motivated to move forward both financially and vocationally. It's also for those who want to empower women by offering their gifts to raise up a generation of women leaders. So our vision is designed to develop interest in this initiative over a 3-phase rollout that includes a 1-day interest-building seminar, a 6-week pilot, and a fully developed 1-year program. The first phase is that 1-day seminar that introduces the idea of community-based empowerment. We'll offer teaching on topics like worthiness and how to use a mentor, identifying and using your gifts for leadership, and how to overcome barriers to adequate employment. The second phase is a 6-week pilot focused on many of the same topics, but with the addition of a mentor program for each participant that helps women identify and really begin to develop their potential. And then our third phase is that 1-year program. Women will meet monthly as a group, but they'll also meet regularly with a mentor who will help them identify and tackle the barriers to employment and leadership opportunities. So the folks at Columbia County Community Connections bring a really important piece. They are certified to lead training in Bridges Out of Poverty, as well as a program called Getting Ahead. And we'll also use guest speakers from the community. Our goal for the first year is to graduate 30 participants, seeing measurable results in the financial, professional, and relational lives of at least 75% of those who attend. Now, in addition to the mentors and the trainers, we'll also form what we're calling a circle of influence. That's a group of women professionals and leaders formed to support women of worth, providing access to resources, things like legal services and medical care, marketing, resume building, things that benefit women ready to overcome their barriers to becoming leaders in their community. So Women of Worth is by women, it's with women, it's for women, it is raising up a generation of women who are ready to do more than just make ends meet. So, Women of Philanthropy, we were grateful to you for helping us see women become everything they can be. Thank you for sharing in our story and supporting our vision.
Next up, we have Linda McKnight from the Southeastern Firefighters Burn Foundation.
Our name's
Do that
too long,
too.
isn't it?
Yes.
I say the Burn Foundation often. Hi, I'm Linda McKnight. I am the president of the Southeastern Firefighters Burn Foundation. We work with any family that has a patient at JMS, whether it's a burn or a wound, we're going to help that family. And how we help them is we have a lodging facility. We have 55 churches that help us with meals every single day. We help with transportation expenses so that they can keep their appointments and have a healthy recovery, prescription services, whatever it takes. And last year alone, we spent $18,000 in hotel rooms because we were at capacity that often. But 25% of the patients seen at JMS Burn Center, out of 30,000 patients, are children. And I don't even want to give you a percent on what is abuse in those instances. But what happens with burns is that it's a long process. It's many procedures. It's not one procedure. We have most recently a 2-year-old that was burned when he was an infant. He's already had 28 procedures. So when he goes through those doorways for another procedure, he knows exactly what's going to happen, and he's not happy. So what we are proposing, and we have asked Women in Philanthropy to help us with, is a children's waiting area. And the neat thing about it is the hospital is providing the space in their new wing. They're soundproofing the room, doing all that kind of stuff. We are going to furnish it to make it fun for children. And what our hope is not only will these children have a place that they relax before they go into a procedure, we're going to expand this to have like goggles, so when they go into a procedure, if it's not on their face, they can watch those 3D goggles and get their minds off of it. We've had help already to buy 2 cars, remote control cars, that they ride down the hallways. Super, super cute. But out of this too, there's another outcome we want. We want these young families to become support systems for each other. Because when these kids get back or get of school age and get back into school, they can't go out on the playground. They have special needs with their burn recovery process. We want these families to have somebody they can talk to. And so we have started reaching out to families 30 days after their discharge, just to make sure some of those relationships have been formed. But this waiting area will make that happen. With burns, you wait a lot to talk to doctors, to have your procedures. If you're 2 years old and you've had 28 procedures, you're there a lot. So we really appreciate any help at all that Women in Philanthropy can be in this process. We're super excited about it. It has been postponed to April, but there'll be a big kickoff event in April, and we'd love for you all to come. But thank you so much. I know you have hard decisions, because I've listened to y'all, and I'm new to Augusta, so I'm loving hearing what y'all are doing. But seriously, thank you. And this is just such an important project for us, and we hope we get your support. Thank you, ladies.
Next up, we have the Lydia Project, Michelle Canchola.
It's such an honor to be here today with all these helping professionals. Last week, Gap Ministries made sure one of the women staying at Lydia received a coat because she came without one and it was so cold. And I don't know what I'd do without Action Ministries every single week doing something for the women at Lydia who stay and need the extra help. It's something we don't have to do because you do. Today, I am grateful to Women in Philanthropy for a lot of things, history of support, and the opportunity to help save lives. That's really what we're talking about today. The grant before Women in Philanthropy asked for $20,000. It will provide 1,261 lodging nights. That's a lot of nights, but what it translates to, again, is saving lives. Sometimes folks don't realize Lydia has 10 bedrooms, and those bedrooms are utilized by women who have to come to the CSRA, the medical community we have here, to get cancer treatment. They cannot afford a hotel. And when they come to Lydia, they are most often the poorest of the poor. We have some who fare well, but most often they're needing help. The youngest we've served at Lydia, 15 years old. The oldest, 93 years old. She wouldn't want me to tell you, but all of them helped through the Lydia's lodging services. If they have to have radiation for 6 weeks, they stay at Lydia for 6 weeks. If they have bone marrow transplant and they have to be 5 minutes, maybe 10, but no more, 10 minutes within their medical team, they stay at Lydia. And right now, that average is 2 to 3 months. When they come, we feed them. We provide prescriptions, medical supplies, whatever the needs that come up, because it's part of the healing process. It's what we have to do. In 2017, last year, Lydia provided 592 trips we paid for, transportation to get from Lydia to get to treatment or medical appointments. This grant will pay 250 transportation trips. To me, that's just priceless. This grant will help at least 78 women or teenage girls with at least 3 weeks of lodging services. They also, in addition to the meals and the other help that they get, they form lifelong friendships. It's just such a place that you can't even get at one of the local awesome hotels that we have, the esprit de corps, the journey, to be able to sit and talk with somebody else who's going through the pains and just the journey of any cancer diagnosis. I am grateful to anyone watching this video that today, when you vote, I thank you for voting to make a healing difference. God bless you all. Thank you.